Everybody, this is Ms. B. I promised you I was going to come back. I did a Facebook Live earlier today, and I promised that I would come back with another video. I just want to say thank you all for your support, and there's some things that I really want to discuss with you. This is Ms. B, positively Ms. B. In case you're not aware, I am the CEO of Storm Talk 365, and I'm also the president of Charles Gentry's the Poets Without Limits Media and Horizons Speakers Alliance. I also represent a lot of syndicated shows right there on Storm Talk 365. I have Kimmy Kim and Married Men Don't Talk and a few other people who are allowing me to air their podcast. So what I want to talk about this evening is, again, going back to this morning, I made a video. It was about help should not be a hindrance. So that was Ms. B talking. I was emotional, and I make no apologies for my relationship with Christ. And not everything is always about the Bible, but I just sometimes get passionate about certain things. But that being said, that video was made this morning, and it was me talking. But what did I do? What am I talking about? You know, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you have a lot of businesses out here, and you're wondering what's going on. You know, you got a good product, you got a good business, you know what you're doing, but the traffic just does not seem to be coming your way. Chantel Guthrie and I have been blessed with Shannon Smallwood to be our representatives. In other words, they're our agents. With, you know, whatever we need done publicly, she handles it for us. Public relations. So what did I do this morning? If I have someone representing me, then I need to be careful of how I represent me. So when I went on this morning, I just went on, you know, off the cuff. So a lot of people could say, well, you know what, I really, you know, I'm thinking about going to Storm Talk 365 and podcasting, but, you know, if she's like that, I don't know if I want to deal with her or not. Some other people may say, well, you know, she's just too super sister Christian. I really don't want to deal with that. I mean, I know she's a faith-based network, but do I really want to have to deal with that type of personality? What am I saying, people? Vicky Yowie, in more one ways, in more one situation than another, but this more recent, she's apologizing for some comments or posting that she made, and she's trying to apologize in a way. There are other people who have said things publicly on a personal level, and it has impacted them professionally. I'm using myself as an example because sometimes we're out here and we're saying, oh, you know, I don't care what people think about me, but what about your business? What about the people that you're representing? Like I said, I have other people that I'm representing on, you know, Storm Talk 365, the Poets Without Limits Media, and the Horizons Speakers Alliance. So what we do does impact other people. And a lot of you have an attitude, well, you know, that's my life, that's my business. I'm not going to be quiet for anybody. I'm not going to change who I am. And, you know, just a whole lot of things. But social media is like a tool that's supposed to be a helpmate, but it can also be the death of you. Samuel Anderson said politely, if y'all have something to air, call and talk to him. Text him, inbox him. But don't go on social media and blast everything away. And your professional life is tanking because your personal life is out there. Again, I'm using myself as an example. This morning I was very emotional about you know, people who need help and then turning it down and then want to blame everybody else for their problems. Again, you can look at that video. I'm not apologizing for that. But what it did do was make me aware that when I speak out as Ms. B, I'm also representing the companies and the people that's aligned with the companies. Again, you know, it's been over a year since I've been having my own network, but, you know, everybody that started out with me is not there. Most of them said, well, only a few did not give me any explanation, and it could have been me. But some of them just kept, you know, not being on time with the podcast. So what you see is what you get. I believe in professionalism. I believe in spiritual and professional integrity. So on my network, I have 5 requirements. And if they don't meet them, then it frustrates me because it's a ministry-based podcast, and not only am I looking for you keeping your word, but for people who want to minister, they should be more particular about keeping those 5 requirements. And I have found myself being emotional, like I can't believe that. What is the problem? But I cannot police everybody's behavior. Some of you who have great businesses and great level of entrepreneurship, some of you have personalities that maybe somebody else should be representing your business. I'm not saying that you need to change yourself, but you have to do things for the greater good. Just like I have to watch what I do and say, because I have to do what's best for the greater good of the majority. For all the podcasters that are still there, that may come, they want to know that they can deal with someone who's not going to be outright and emotional and judgmental. I am going to be professional and expect you to follow the requirements, but some of us who have businesses have a personality that is not easily calmed, and then it could come against you professionally. We have a lot of people out there in the ministry who are giving opinions that are drawing negativity. Is it more important to have an opinion voiced publicly than it is to have what you've established over the years to maintain integrity? Sometimes we have to, learn when to speak. There's a time and place for everything. I'm not saying be phony. I'm not saying put yourself on some type of limitation. But what I am saying is we have to be careful when we're representing something other than ourselves. So my tip for the day from Positively Ms.B is be careful how you represent yourself out in the community when you're trying to establish a business, or you already have a business or a ministry, because people may like what you do, but they don't like what you say and how you portray yourself. So I just want you to be mindful of that, because social media, like I said, is very powerful. It's a tool that can be used for you or against you. Again, this morning, that was Ms.B talking, and not necessarily representing the station or any other entity that I'm a part of. But again, when you have other associations and other connections, it's not always about you. I see so many high-profile people. I'm not high-profile, Ms.B. Hi, Gail. Ms.B is, doing what she does locally, but some of these people out here who really make it a stand are ruining what they worked so hard to accomplish because they want to be seen for their personal opinion. Is it really important to have your personal opinion and destroy the confidence that people have put in you professionally? So again, I made a video this morning. It was emotional, but the takeaway from that professionally is be careful how you step out of your professional zone, because some of you have worked very hard to get where you are. And it's not all about how you feel personally. It really isn't. So I'm trying to encourage you to be mindful that there are people out there who would love to do business with you, but it could be your personal demeanor. Like I said, so many of you, I've heard of situations where people fly off at the handle, get angry, curse people out, hang up, don't show up for appointments, and just plain disrespectful, but yet can't understand why their business is not growing. So I want you to understand that, yes, Ms. B did a very emotional video this morning, because I am passionate about things that I'm passionate about. But I also have to understand that I represent others. My daughter, she's the Chief Operations Manager for Storm Talk 365. She's also Sales and Marketing Director for all 3 networks. So I represent her. My grandchildren are on my podcast shows. I have friends and family. I have people such as Michelle Rett, who's the only ecclesiastical lawyer for the churches in the nation. If they have any litigations in the government, she handles that. So I have some high-profile people that are on my network, and I don't want to misrepresent them and people say, oh, you on that station, huh? Wow. So I'm using myself as an example. You want people to come to your barbershop. What type of atmosphere do you want it to have? If they're scared to come in because they don't know if they're going to get robbed or somebody's going to come in there and start, twerking, what kind of an atmosphere are you trying to attract? We don't want to turn away the masses. We can't please everybody, but we would love to please as many as possible. So if you're in the professional arena, please decide what kind of reputation you want to have for your business, and then be mindful. You know, there's I will say this, there's a couple that just left the White House. And regardless of what you have to say about them politically, there are very few negative things that you can say about them as a family. And that is absolutely amazing, you know, based on the controversy and the pressure and, you know, the public light, especially with the children. How you handle pressure determines how you handle life in general. I want you to know that as Storm Talk 365 CEO, yes, Ms. B is very passionate about her relationship with Christ. I don't like foolishness, but that does not mean I have not corrected myself in a lot of ways. Right now, my daughter, Janice Wilson, is handling more interaction with the podcast because I'm like a mother hen. But I'm backing off after the first year was a trial and error, but she's more professional. She's got that Air Force background, so she's no nonsense without the emotions. I'm no nonsense with the emotions. So, you know, I'll quote a scripture to start speaking in tongues in a minute, but that's the time and place for everything. And I don't want to have that kind of reputation on my network. I also want to be careful how I come out in public and do these live videos because I want you to respect what I have to say and not go, oh, there she goes again. And again, you know, I'm using Vicky Yohe right now because she's in the limelight for saying things that have really impacted her followers. So it's not that you should be ashamed of how you feel, but does it really have that big of an impact that you want to jeopardize everything that you're building to have a voice? So that being said, Gail, I thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate your support. I really appreciate your support this morning on the video that I did. But everybody, I really want you to be mindful. Positively, Ms. B is encouraging you to understand you have to represent your business first. You know, it's not always about being vocal and verbal about how you feel and how you feel. And, you know, also have a personal page separate from your professional page. And have it only, you know, for restricted viewers, because, you know, all of these things will come back to haunt you. You know, and I've had some people that I was concerned about who, you know, had a lot to say, but yet their personal life, they were using profanity and they were, you know, out in clubs and drinking and smoking, but yet they're on my faith-based network, and those two just didn't mix. So you have to be careful, again, of your public image if you're trying to establish a business, a ministry, or whatever. But that's just my take on it. You don't have to listen, but that's what I'm working on myself. I'm going to let Shanna Smallwood handle building up who we want me to appear in public as Positively Ms. B. That includes the book and different things, and I don't want to jeopardize anything that she has going to encourage me to move forward as Positively Ms. B. Storm Talk 365 is holding its own. We have such people as Chef Moses Jackson. He's world renowned, and he's going to be on the Food Network. Again, I just mentioned Michelle Red, and we have a few other prominent people with careers already established, and I don't want one of my rants to say not only do they not want to be a part of the podcast, but I lose listeners. So for all of you out there who have barbershops and automobile shops, be careful how you represent your business in public. You know, they'll be like, man, I like his work, but I can't stand to go in that bathroom because it's just filthy. You know, man, I love the way, you know, he does this, that, and the other, but, you know, the cigarette smoke is killing me. So you just have to be careful when you're out there trying to establish a business, not only with, you know, your public image on videos, but how you carry yourself, and then you wonder why your business is impacted. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Gail. Looks like you're the only one to join me, but that's okay. Eventually somebody will circulate it, but I want you to know that I really encourage you to be careful about your public image when you're trying to establish a business. Be careful, very careful about videos and postings, because they will come back at you. You can't be double-minded. And because I did mention my faith-based network, I want to encourage all of you, live like you believe what you believe. Know what you believe, because if not, you'll fall for anything. So be careful from the pulpit to the parking lot. If you're preaching it and teaching it, then you ought to be it. So everybody, this is Ms. B. You have a blessed night. Thank you again, Gail, for joining me. And I will see you all tomorrow, praise the Lord, with another Positively Ms. B uplifting podcast video thingy. I'm trying to be positive, everybody. You have a great day. Bye-bye.